have to adjust it here to 60K. And now that becomes 74.5. That is where the next line to keep your peepers on. If we don't close above 74.5 on a relief rally. So let's just take a look at how far away we are from 6.7. 6.7 is we're 11% away, an 11% pump. But I can see us maybe getting there. And at that point, if we don't, this will be my signal. If we don't close above 74.5, I would be expecting those lows to come in. Here's the rejection zone, 74.5. This is where I expect it to make an attempt and get rejected. But we always have to keep our eyes on 74.5. This is the rejection zone. And if we get rejected, we'll probably go back down and test 60. Now, I would like to get to 74.5. I know it seems like a crazy amount of bullishness for the upside. Be nothing to go down that much. We do that before 10 a.m. But this is my signal to confirm we are in essence going lower. But we all kind of know that. We're 74.5 here. Yeah, it would be up at this channel of dissensions support or resistance. Also exactly the 38.2% fib. Oh yeah, that's why. That's why it all makes sense. I do think we will get to the 38.2% fib, the rejection zone of this leg down, 74.6. I thought we were going to hit it this weekend. Now, don't forget, I do expect a relief rally to 74.5, where these peepers are, right? It looks like nothing here, right? Look at how far are we now? Let's check this from 66. It's 13%. So you can imagine a 13% pump up would be pretty mind-blowing. And we would think that, but this is that bull trap I think I was talking about in the video yesterday. Now we all know what I've been talking about with this rejection zone, 74.5. And so if we do that, we can get overly bullish and think about the rejection zone at 74.5. Look at how the 200 moving average, what this rejection zone has been here, I think since about here. The 200 moving average was way up there. So we are now getting confluence on the 4-hour chart with this rejection zone at 74.5. So it's starting to kind of make sense. I'll be a little surprised / not surprised when and if it does hit 74.5. When things play out, let's say we get up to 74.5 and then that's it. And then we go back down underneath the 200 moving average. It'll be hard to find this, relief rally to 74.5. You will have to, widen and dig. Oh, I see there. It had that relief rally up to the rejection zone. When you see here from the 4-hour chart, it's like, oh, that'd be a crazy bullish journey, right? Not really. This on the 4-hour chart, everything's looks a little more dynamic and huge. But when you zoom out on the weekly, this is just really a nothing burger up to 74.5. However, it'll be interesting to see if and when it does happen. If we just follow this season, we have about a month to get to 74.5. Like when I say, could we go higher? It seems crazy. Higher than 74.5? Are you crazy? We should be lucky if we get to 74.5. To put it into perspective too, even if we got to this rejection zone on the daily, it wouldn't even seem like a massive, that would be a pretty decent green candle, like maybe like this one, but it's nothing to write home about. And that's why it'd probably get rejected. Well, my bull trap is set up here at the rejection zone, 74.4. Let's move her back. There we go. So you can keep your papers on it. 74.5, right in line with that 200 moving average. Right? Keep your peepers out for 74.5. Now, it seems a little crazy right now, just because we lack so much bullish prowess in the market. Rejection zone is still 74 with 74.5. We'll move it over a bit to 74.5. Keep the papers there. But now that would have to be over the 200 moving average. And it's right above. It's coming up is this rejection zone of 74.5. I've been talking about 74.5 forever. So maybe it'll hit. Maybe it won't. Well, look at that. 74.5 will come right around the old 50 moving average. If we were to get up here, which I do think we'll probably do. I'll do this for the future video. 74.5. Lord love a duck if the camera isn't working. Let's see. Oh, the camera isn't working. I didn't check it, obviously. 74.1 is all the steam she had. It was pretty close. Now, I can see us sweeping that out maybe by Friday. I would have liked to see it get over 74.5 and then close under. I feel, I'm not hitting it. It leaves me kind of up in the air, because you got to plan. You got to plan. Even if it's $300, $400 off, sometimes that makes all the difference in the world, right? When it comes to how the probabilities and the calculus changes. So, this is one of those scenarios where if it does reject, if we are seeing, initially it did reject all the way down to 71. A full rejection to me would be the 200 moving average, which is around 70K. Well, right now it's actually 69.3. Yeah, so testing the 200 moving average, that would be more accurate of a rejection and then a support finding. And maybe we take one. But, we did get some support here. 70, let's call it 72K. So that's, let's see how this plays out on the old fibs here. Go from here. We'll just go body. Who cares about the wicks? So we kind of found some support at the 23.6% fib. 71.3 is the 38.2% fib. Of course, the golden ratio is 61.8 is down at 70K. Big psychological number. So, what happens usually on any type of move? We kind of retrace to the 61.8% fib. So would it be so crazy to come down to 69.9? No, it wouldn't. 69.9. Even at that, we could get that support and maybe build up enough steam to sweep out 74.5 again. Now, if you take a look at even a deeper look at this, we have FYI, the Bitcoin to $1 million title that was suggested by Wick did not move the meter, even on a bullish day. It's funny because I could have went back, that video was getting long at 4 minutes. It could have been a 10-minute video talking about 74.5. All those videos for 2 months saying that the price will go to 74.5, none of them got over 350 views. It's really incredible. I'm sure every channel was talking about 74.5, but for 2 months straight, 74.5, as the price went down, not one video over 350 views. It really, am I in a bunker? Am I in some sort of wet blanket gray bunker? So some legacy analyst, technical astrologists would probably consider this a old-fashioned bull flag. Now we got a couple of probabilities on bull flags coming out here. We have this one way back here, which is supposed to go to 76K-ish. Now I thought we would, go up. Oh, wait a second. There you go. Go up to 76K-ish and then come down and close under 74.5. But if we're going to fulfill this technical astrology destiny, we would take the pole, slide it all to the breakout point, and then we're all at 79.5. 79.5. Now, I don't really see us hitting 79.5. It could happen. But we are in a downtrend. We are in a downtrend. The next couple days will be interesting to see how much of a rejection we get off this latest pump. That will really be the biggest one. Yeah, E-money bounce off 80K. You can see how that would work. Yeah, 80K, big psychological number. Kelly McBride, does anyone think the big money could be manipulating the Kager to scare people away from Bitcoin so they can scoop it up cheap? Is that even possible? Well, anything is possible. We're dealing with Wall Street rules, which we don't really, it's kind of like the government, right? There's no stone they'd left. There's no stone that can't be corrupted enough to fulfill their agenda, right? They don't care about lives. They don't care about families. They don't care about anything but their agenda, right? So it's literally, there's no end to how deep and dark the corruption can get. E-money, tomorrow title, secret Bitcoin signal. So we'll see. Bitcoin to 1 million doesn't move the meter. Today's massive crashing coming, we'll see. All it has to do is get above 350 and I'll consider it a meter mover. Although predicting 74.5 for 2 months can't get over 350 views, but I'm living in a bunker, I guess. Is this on? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Crypto hoops, Bitcoin to 10K. That might move the meter. Who knows? Terry Crow, I don't understand why YouTube shows me the upcoming exercise video thumb, but it keeps the morning TA thumbnail under the blanket. Well, because I'm in a bunker. Is this thing on? Who knows? Maybe there's like, oh yeah, we'll show the members only exercise thumbnail, but we won't show the video that he's been making, for 5 years at the exact same time every day. Chadwick, the masses aren't paying attention to Kager. They're paying attention to news, and news is much easier to fabricate. That's true. But Kager represents itself in an emotional response. So diminishing Kager is diminishing excitement. That's all the normies really, that's how it translates and connects. Low Kager, low excitement. Low Kager, low engagement. High Kager, high excitement. High Kager, high engagement. That's how she works. Squeaky McGee thought that Bitcoin to 1 million was too big a stretch, but Bitcoin to 200K. What are you talking about, Squeaky McGee? Samson Mao said, a Wharton grad, a hedge fund owner, he said 1 point. Well, now, you don't think Samson Mao doesn't know what he's talking about, do you? What about Rug Powell? Said the same thing. He used to work at J.P. Morgan. He's a big-time hedge fund institutional investor. You don't think that he is wrong, do you? He can't possibly be lying, do you think, Squeaky McGee? What about Tom Lee? He said it's going to $1 million. These are Wharton grads. They actually spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars learning a Keynesian walled garden indoctrination. Now, you don't think they'd be lying to you? You don't think these influencers on YouTube are lying, do you? Maybe that's their version of the thumbnail, Bitcoin to 1 million, but they actually get on the news and say it. They don't care. That's the brilliance of it. They can literally say anything and retail will forget about it. They won't remember that these guys said 1.3 million. They'll wait for the next one. Well, he didn't get 1.3 million, right? But I'm sure it was an oversight in numbers. These guys know their num-nums, right? They went to Wharton. So, what are you talking about? They went to Wharton. James on random, you can super chat a shameless self-promotion anytime you want. Check out my 2 Bitcoin videos on charts and Kager approaches. Links are in pianomattyB's Discord. Yeah, why not? And join the Discord too. Put your thoughts how Bitcoin changed your life. That stalled out. I thought that would be more of an interesting engagement for the community. Tell everyone about how Bitcoin has changed your life, or hasn't. But no, nobody's interested in that. I was all eyes. I was just like checking Discord. No, no. Crypto hoops. Bitcoin has to go on one of those unstoppable pump runs to get people's attention. Yeah, well, unfortunately, in order to do that, it has to break the cycle and have a novel swan, right? Because even to get over 200K, we need a 16% CAGR from the last all-time high. And not to beat a dead horse here or sound like a broken record, but we've never done that before. So that's the scariest part, to think that in order to get over 200K, we have to break the cycle's diminishing CAGR. Now it can happen. I think one of my theories here is yesterday's pump was not Iran, although there's probably some of it. I think it was the GCC countries, like the wealth trying to secure some money, so when they get their private jets out of there, they can open up their ledger and have some Bitcoin on the other side of the world, right? So it's the GCC peeps who are flooding into Bitcoin, which is another example of the Bitcoin use case. It needs adversity. It needs to be challenged. That's its stride, right? It's the ultimate economic underdog, Bitcoin. You throw all your shit at it, and that's when it starts going, starts licking its lips and digging its feet into the ground. It's like, and that you put it on easy street, and it's like, just like anyone's like, yeah, I'm going to go back to bed here. We have a full support of our government. Yeah, I'm going to go back to bed. We got every hedge fund and institution buying Bitcoin. I'm going to go back to bed, I think. That's why I'm a firm believer we need an anti-Bitcoin government. It's like, to a certain degree, that video I made, the Metallica theory, horrible engagement on that one. But, not really. They're all horribly engaged. But that one was particularly more. That spelled out what was going on in the minds of Bitcoiners, in the sense that you don't want to be in a club that has certain people as a member. For instance, like when you want the government on your side, you're like, well, who really wants that? Those rent-seeking, reptilian, parasitic pedophiles on your side. I prefer to fight them the rest of my life. Instead of, being thankful they're on board. It's gross, really. It's go, oh yeah, all these pedophiles they're all into Bitcoin now. Like, fuck off. Go back to your fiat blood money. Go back to your warmongering. And meanwhile, we will set up the gallows. We will sharpen the stakes. We will gather as much rope as we can, and as much gasoline and matches as we possibly can gather up. And that is what should be happening now. But unfortunately, with the indoctrination system, both education and the dumbing down of the nutrientless food that people are eating, just empty calories, the brains aren't functioning anymore. And what would have been, like you can see, like I always use the example of the Sydney Sweeney jeans ad. People were irate, mainly, what are they called? Offals, affluent, white, female, urban libtards. Mostly them, of course, right? But that's enough to, that's why advertisers go for women. They're easily, swayed by rage and fear. But thousands of, the next generation being shipped around and done unimaginable, horrible things. Doesn't really get it. Like, where are the stakes? Where are the ropes? Where's the fire? It's amazing that they can actually live their life. They should be living in absolute fear. But they just show up for work. They walk down the street. They voted to not disclose who was accused of all the sexual misconduct with the $17 million worth of taxpayer money. The people that should be getting ropes and sharpening stakes and getting the fire together, that those people's money, half of their income that goes to them, they just hush money. And then it's like, well, we should, we are the side of transparency. So, we want to be transparent moving forward. However, this is going to go in the memory hole. Yeah, we don't want people knowing. I mean, how many people in government, have been accused of and then, paid out hush money to sexual misconduct. If they knew that, they might sharpen their stakes and get ropes. And they laugh. They'll never do that. We'll just put a Sydney Sweeney Jean ad again, and they'll all just go this way. It's sad, really. But here is that thing. It says the House just voted 357 to 65. It was tight. It was a tight race, to kill a resolution that would have released all congressional sexual misconduct reports. Nancy Mace forced the vote after text surfaced showing Representative Tony Gonzalez allegedly sent sexual messages to a staffer who later died by suicide. Now, is that the one that lit herself on fire? Like, the wrong people are on fire here. This is incredible. Show more. Mace wanted every report on congressional harassment made public. Yeah, this seems logical, right? Yeah, that's a great one. Congress said no overwhelmingly. Idiocracy. The same government releasing millions of Epstein files voted to keep its own misconduct reports sealed. Well, they're one of the same. Members of Congress just told you exactly where they stand on accountability. They sure did.
All right. I support Representative Mace's subpoena here, as well as the amendment to it. And I just think it's really disgusting how this institution protects itself, because y'all just half of them voted to send this stuff to House Ethics, where it's going to die. We know that members of Congress are using taxpayer dollars to pay off sexual harassment. We just had a member of Congress literally sexually harass a woman that then lit herself on fire, and you guys all protected.
So she did lit herself. That's the wrong person that should be burning.
Him. You guys all protected my own side, your side. And so if you guys want to talk about victims, if you want to go out and virtue signal, and then you guys are going to kill her stuff on the floor and then try to pass it. Yeah, of course, we should subpoena all of this stuff. But I'm not going to sit here and play games. I think it's a complete fraud. I think that's why the American people hate us. I think the midterms are coming up, and everyone should go on record for this. And I hope that members are exposed for this. I hope it goes back, to the 70s, because it's wrong that it's happening. It's wrong that we cover up for it. It's wrong that we can't censor our own side because people are busy making deals because you guys don't want to censor your side. It's a deal that's been cut, and people hate us for it.
They absolutely do hate it, but they don't hate them enough. It's not even close. They don't hate them. They hate them about 10% enough. They need 90% more. And that will come, probably in the next year, when AI, imagine the hatred that's going to come when the only people working are these fuck faces, right? Oh, we need these people. We need all these seats in Congress. Yeah, hey, all you guys, who cares about you? When AI takes everyone's job eventually, 2 years, maybe 4 years. But these people's jobs, we can't not have these pedophile, rapists, rent-seeking reptilians, parasites going without a job. But that'll probably never happen. It's amazing that these people still exist, that they walk down the street, that they live in a house, and can you imagine knowing your coworkers? Whatever his name was, Tony Gonzalez. Imagine working with him, knowing that the person that charged him with that lit herself on fire. Imagine after work drinks with this guy. Holy Tony, quite a week, Can't believe that she actually lit herself on fire. That's pretty crazy, isn't it, Tony? Yeah, well, at least it's over. Yeah, that's the important thing, that it's over. We need to squash all these things. Yeah. Matter of fact, I just want your support on the voting against the sexual misconduct, because the one thing that it got out for you, but it took care of itself with the fire and everything. But for us, we don't need any. We don't. Well, let's count that out, right? Well, we got our support. Yeah, sure enough. Not only did they get the support, overwhelming support. It's so gross. And when it says in 2026, vote this or vote that, you got we have to understand that voting does not end this. In fact, it only prolongs that. I'm not sure what I am sure it's stakes, ropes, and fire. It's the only thing that stops this. The concept of voting these people out, it's just a big farce. It's an illusion of democracy. Everything about it is a farce. I think that's one of those, coming back to yesterday and how my life has changed through Bitcoin. It really is. You see things a lot clearer. You know, there's an instant bingo, bango, bongo of like, oh, this happened, so this is going to happen. So your ability to probabilitize things gets faster and more acute. It almost to the point where it's not, life becomes a little less fun. There's no surprises, right? But now it almost feels like things are coming to a head. Like it is almost an 11th hour humanity type thing. You know, the concept of most people losing their jobs in the next 2 years. I don't know if there's a way out of that, because the you hear it a lot where people are like, well, no, people can become like artists and stuff. It's like, no, people don't become artists. They are artists. Artists is a disease. Let me tell you, as an artist, it's a disease. You can't quit it. You can't get out of it. And you don't slowly become it because something happened in your life. You don't work your job at Steinsteinberger and Olufsen as a data entry apprentice. Like, oh, now I can be an artist. No. You probably, if you were an artist, you wouldn't have that job. You would have been fired from it because you can't keep your mind off the artistry. It's a sickness, right? So to think that, you know, all the population is going to become passionate artists and stuff, they won't. And then I guess what happens is that they maybe get depressed. You know, I can see that depression, but in Canada, we got it figured out. You know, we have these little pods where you hop in, right? And then you just press a button and it's all over. Sleepy time comes for all. When you lose your job to AI, and the walls start to crumble around you. We got pods, we got little buttons you press if you're not feeling too good on a Tuesday. Just press it and everything will go. Bye-byes. Everything's going bye-bye. Make sure you like and subscribe and share